Harriet Tubman, the woman who defied slavery. Harriet Tubman is remembered as one of the bravest freedom fighters in history. Born into slavery in the United States, she escaped bondage, then returned again and again to rescue others, risking torture, imprisonment, or death every single time. To millions, she became a symbol of courage, sacrifice, and resistance against oppression. Her life was not just about survival, it was about freedom for everyone. Early life in slavery. Harriet Tubman was born around 1822 in Maryland, USA. Her birth name was Araminta Ross, though she was later called Harriet after her mother. She was born into brutal slavery on a plantation. From childhood, she witnessed violence, whippings, and families being torn apart. Slave owners treated enslaved people as property, not human beings. As a young girl, Harriet was forced into hard labor. She worked in homes, fields, forests, and farms. The conditions were harsh and beatings were common. One event changed her life forever. When Harriet was a teenager, an overseer threw a heavy metal weight at another enslaved man who was trying to escape. The object struck Harriet in the head. Instead, the injury nearly killed her. Afterward, she suffered headaches, seizures, and sudden sleep episodes for the rest of her life. Yet many historians believe this trauma also strengthened her spiritual visions and deep faith, which guided her throughout her mission's escape to freedom. In 1849, Harriet learned that she might be sold away from her family. Rather than wait for her life to be destroyed, she made a terrifying decision. She would escape. Traveling mostly at night, Harriet fled north through forests, swamps, and hidden routes. She relied on secret safe houses operated by abolitionists and free black communities. This secret network became known as the Underground Railroad. Despite the name, it was not a real railroad. It was a hidden system of routes, homes, churches, and brave volunteers who helped enslaved people escape to freedom. After a dangerous journey, Harriet reached Pennsylvania, a free state. For the first time in her life, she was legally free, but freedom alone was not enough for her. Returning to save others, most people would never risk going back. Harriet Tubman did. Again and again, she secretly returned to slave states to rescue family members, friends, and strangers. Each mission could have ended in capture or death. Slave owners placed rewards on her head, yet she continued, using disguises, coded songs, secret signals, and nighttime travel. Harriet guided escaping slaves northward. She carried a pistol for protection and reportedly warned frightened escapees not to turn back, because retreat could expose everyone. Her missions were incredibly dangerous. If captured, Harriet would likely have been tortured or executed. Still, she never stopped. Historians believe she personally guided around 70 enslaved people to freedom and helped many more through her network and planning. Because of her courage and skill, she earned the nickname Moses. Just like the biblical Moses leading people out of slavery, Harriet Tubman. During the Civil War, when the American Civil War began in 1861, Harriet Tubman supported the Union Army against the slaveholding Confederate states. She served in multiple roles: nurse, cook, spy, scout, military guide. Tubman became one of the first women in United States history to help lead a military operation. In 1863, she assisted in the Combahee River Raid in South Carolina. Union forces destroyed Confederate supplies and freed more than 700 enslaved people. It was one of the most successful slave liberation operations during the war. Life after the war. After slavery was abolished in the United States, Harriet Tubman continued fighting for justice. She advocated for women's voting rights, education for African Americans, care for elderly black citizens, equal rights. Despite her heroism, she lived much of her later life in poverty and struggled to receive proper military compensation from the government. Even so, she never abandoned her mission of helping others. She eventually established a home for elderly African Americans in Auburn, New York. Harriet Tubman proved that one person's courage can change countless lives. She was not a queen general or ruler. She possessed no army, no wealth, and no political power. Yet through pure determination and bravery, she became immortal in history. Her life sends a timeless message. Even in the darkest times, one fearless person can light the path to freedom for others. Her story reminds the world that true legends are not measured by wealth or conquest, but by sacrifice. Every great dream begins with a dreamer, Harriet Tubman. If Harriet Tubman's story inspired you, leave a like and subscribe for more legendary stories from history, because legends never die.